Welcome to This is Fitness, the podcast for the bodybuilding and all things fitness, bringing you real life version of the fitness industry from people who've lived and breathed it. We explore new trends and serious topics while dispelling myths and calling out stupidity within the fitness industry. Jimmy and Chris offer their unique insight, delivered with healthy sarcasm. Let's crush those fitness goals together. This is Fitness. And now your hosts, Jimmy Sadek and Chris Thomas.
Welcome back. This is episode 10. This is Fitness. We had a little minor mishap the other week with recording, and we said last week was episode 10, but it became episode 9 because we've got a prelude piece that's going to become an episode at some point in time. Jimmy knows what I'm talking about. So how are you, Jimmy, anyway?
Mate, I'm all right. I'm good. We've had we come off the back of the weekend, which usually puts me to into a little bit of a deficit coming into a Monday, Tuesday, but the show actually went really well. I wasn't too tired afterwards, so I've had a good week. I've had a good start to the week actually. I've had 2 good workouts. I feel good. I feel rested. I'm good. I feel real good. I haven't felt this good for a while, actually. So I'm all right. Everything's going well. How are you?
I'm good. So do you take your meals to the shows, or what? Is it just hard to eat with what's going on?
No, usually up until last year.
Yeah.
Up until last year, I did. Because I'm pretty good on meals. Like I don't really miss meals at all. And I can eat fast, so that doesn't bother me. But Food for Fitness has got to stand there. So I was like, you know what? I got sick of carting because we stay in the city the night before, as you know. That's just another whole element of something to get ready before the show.
Yeah.
Plus the drive, plus going out to dinner the night before, whatever, right? So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to eat the Food for Fitness meals that are there. So I just stick to, like, I'm not really, if I was following a proper plan, I'd take my meals 100%.
Yeah.
Because I'm just mainly just following a structure, which is like, I just need to eat certain, like fat and protein, fat and carbs, or carbs and protein, whatever. And I know what I'm doing per meal. I just go and eat the Food for Fitness meals there.
Yeah.
I'll go and buy, I think I buy 6 at once at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that way, I can just walk up and ask him for my meal, chuck it in the microwave, so I have to go through the whole payment processing the whole time. So I'm very efficient when I'm there.
That's good. And you also don't run the risk of running out of the meals you want to.
Yeah, because they sell fucking a lot of meals there. So
Yeah,
it actually, but the menu's actually confusing because there's so many meals. And because we don't, I just get the same fucking one.
Yeah.
I like that one, 6 of them. Or I get 3 beef, 3 red meat, 3 chicken.
Yeah.
So
I'm a creature of habit too. I do the same thing every time. I take 2 meals to the show with me every time. I cook half a kilo of chicken, normally like lemon pepper or something like that. And I cook half a kilo of rice, and I just roughly separate the 2 things, put it in 2 Tupperwares, and I'm good. Simple as that.
You know what I did do though? I fucked up.
What's that?
The whole day, I felt like burgers. So I was like, I'm just going to get burgers and just eat them while I drive home. I got an Eastern distributor without going to a fucking burger place. So I couldn't get anything. So once you get an Eastern distributor, you're basically freeway until home.
Right.
So I got home and I had to cook normal stupid chicken rice or something.
So you're upset then, hey?
I was happy to be home at a decent time.
Yeah. But you get hyped up for a meal you want, right? It's nothing worse than thinking about something you want and then not getting it.
Yeah, but like, generally the only meals I get hyped up for is sushi and burgers. So I've had my fair share. I've had my fair share over the time. So it's like, you know, I do I don't know. It's like I have been eating way too many burgers lately though. Way too many. I mean, last week I counted 30.
Fucking hell. Listen, Look, I love the flavor of them, all that sort of stuff. I think they look good in a picture. They're never the same in real life. I think they're a fraud, but they taste good. But the thing is that I just can't, the burger and the beard, the two things don't really work too well together. Like, how do you manage that?
You need a bigger mouth.
Man, I get it all over my face, like seriously. And then I just smell food in my beard. So I got to go and like wash it or shampoo it out after a meal or something. So,
we walk around with wet wipes. I got heaps of wet wipes in my car now because of the Apollo.
right.
I've got something
You're covered.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it's like, I don't know. I like the ease of them. I wanted sushi last week and I didn't get it either.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it's I'm like, yeah. Last week I decided I had a burger problem. I have pulled back this week. I've gone a little bit cleaner with food. So
are you going cold turkey on the burger?
No.
Just cutting down.
I just want to miss them a little bit because when we go to Melbourne for nationals,
I
want to experience some Melbourne food. So I want to be I want my palate to be clean.
Yeah. Remember that joint across the road we used to go to Melbourne all the time from the convention center?
Straight across. Yep.
Straight across. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
We'll probably go there that weekend. Anyway, are you going?
Look, I don't know at this point. I haven't decided yet. So after last weekend, was meant to come and then didn't come and then ended up spending it at home. Which ended up being good anyway. Like I got some shit done around here.
Did you watch?
Say it again.
Did you watch the live stream?
No, I didn't. No. I watched the UFC.
Yeah. So one of the stands at the show had the UFC on his computer. Fuck it.
Right.
I actually should find out who it is. He was selling these cool fat grip things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I bought a pair. I have to shout him out.
What, those old blue fat grips that we used to use back in the day?
So think about that. Like that is exactly what they look like, except they're black. The company's called Sniper Form, right?
Right. Okay.
So I'm gonna click on his Instagram so I don't butcher this. Basically what it is, think of a fat grip. Fuck it. I'm gonna tag it.
Right.
No, that one's with Tony's fucking head. Think of a fat grip with. All right. What's a tool that's got a thing that measures the whether it's flat or not?
Oh, a level, spirit level.
Spirit level. So imagine a fat grip with a spirit level.
Right.
Chris, you got to see it. Done. Post. All right. So imagine a fat grip with a spirit level, right?
Right.
So basically, you can use it without holding the grips on a bench press.
Yeah, I'll look at it after.
Making the spirit level look at you so you can keep the bar straight.
Right.
One way of using it. So I got that. I will use these with arms, and I will use these with some chest movements. But I mainly got it for the spirit level because I can put it on like my clients that do like any bar work, and it will help them keep them straight. So especially if they got one arm stronger than the other or whatever. It's just something a little bit. I don't know if it's gimmicky because I haven't used it yet. He's got some fucking decent bodybuilders on his Instagram that's using him. So whether they're just paid promoters or whatever, but like, look, I thought it was a good idea and I'd never seen it before and I bought a pair.
Right.
So I think it is very. I think it was very well thought out, whether it's practical or not. But who the fuck to say what practical is? I walk around with a fucking. I walk around with a giant machine connected to a battery. So I think there'd be use for it.
I think you're going to say you walk around at like 130 at 5'5". That's not practical.
5'6", motherfucker. Hey.
Oh, sorry.
We got. we got photos. We got photos on stage with just like all the volunteers or whatever that helped out at the show on the weekend.
Yeah.
Mark forgot to step on his toes. Mark forgot to go on his tippy toes. You know how he goes on his tippy toes every photo?
Does he?
Oh, you don't know this.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I was standing off to his left,
Yeah.
slightly behind him, right?
Yeah.
So I straight away got on my tippy toes and held it, right? So he wouldn't see me going up and down out of the corner of his eye.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna forget. So I stayed tall for the whole photos.
Yeah.
And then when we finished and broke, I said, "I'm taller than you, motherfucker," and I got the photo evidence to fucking prove it. But look, if we go back through the years of photos, okay,
Yeah.
find at least a dozen of him on his tippy toes.
I believe you. Actually, I could go straight to one of those Charles Lotham ones that we got, that the group ones. I bet she's doing it there.
100%.
How tall is he anyway, man?
Probably 5'4" on a good day.
5'4". Oh man.
Well, no, look, if I'm 5'6", he's shorter than me.
Is he?
Is anyone listening? Probably not. No, I think he's a bit taller, but he got a fat head.
So that negates the tallness, doesn't it?
Well, if he lost all the water retention out of his head, like a balloon expands all different ways. Come down and even
He'd be shorter.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think he'd be 5. If I was to be a friend, 5'7" and a bit.
So he's shorter than me then.
He's definitely shorter than you. He's only taller than me on Sundays. Look, and I'm only saying that I'm not admitting the fact that he is taller than me. I'm just agreeing with some that say he is, to make them feel good about their fucking stupid life.
So it was the New South Wales IFBB on the weekend, obviously. So it's Gretchy's little pride and joy, which is awesome. It's always a good show. And you were there doing your shit as usual, right?
Yep.
Managing the whole back thing, right?
Yeah, good this year. Our backstage crew's been consistent in the last maybe 2 or 3 years. So
yeah,
Jesse, Robbie, and Rob.
Yeah,
one of Bobby's mates too. My ex driver Max.
Yep.
So I had a good team backstage. So we pretty much had everyone in place, and I just put out fires. So the show was really well run. And it ran fast. It ran actually it ran fast, except for the new division, the fit model one.
Right.
7 females took 1 hour.
How come?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe just trying to give it exposure. I don't know. Or it could just be coincidence that it took an hour. Or, I'm not sure. But that was the only I won't say drag, but that was the only probably part of the show that felt like it went a little bit slow. Other than that, it was one of the better ones. It wasn't the biggest one we've done, and I think that's why. So unless the competitors come out in max capacity yet, anything less than that is very easy for us now.
Yeah. So what do you think it was with that? Do you like? Oh, actually, better question: is the criteria quite obvious now for this fit model category, or whatever it is, fitness model?
Look, to be fair, and I don't know if I'm going to upset anyone, but it reminds me of when bikini first started.
Right, that's the way it was described to me. So I mean, I look back at the early days of bikini, and obviously we had some experience in the early days of the bikini, and as far as the pros went, and some amazing physiques then. But the girls now are just, they don't look like that, you know. So
now the girls look like they train. Well, back then the girls weren't looking like they trained initially. They just walked in kind of how they would present themselves year round and competed. Where then with everything, it evolved to, okay, if we're going to we need better this, we can train to get better that.
Mm.
And then they became like bikini athletes. Like they train hard, they diet hard, whatever they say they do anyway. But look, but some do, to be fair. And like the top ones, the good ones are good. And you know, you can tell they go to the gym, and you can tell they put in effort. You can tell they watch what they follow the prep, yeah. And they come in conditioned now too, not too conditioned obviously, but like they look like they're part of the day.
Yep.
Where the fit models didn't, and it took it back, like literally, it took me back to the first time I was watching it back 15 years ago, or 10 years ago, however long when they first introduced it. It was the exact same thing. Girls that looked like they'd never trained before, they just go to the gym occasionally, or they're real new to it. And look, I'm sure that's going to evolve too. But like, it's just, I don't know. There's lots of, in our sport, because there's not that many numbers, there's lots of participation already. I just feel it's it's purely a participation entry level division.
Well, you know, I mean, you think about it back in the day, Jimmy, like a lot of people used to look at bikini back then as a progression. Like it was a progression to, they would do it, they would train, and as they grew, they would progress onto other categories, you know. And then it sort of, you know, they not decided. I mean, obviously a lot of them would have decided back then, but then it was like training to stay into the category. So then all of a sudden, you know, you're in a situation where people are probably not training to capacity to avoid growing outside of a category. So now you've got this category that is, I'm assuming, less muscular and less leaner.
Yeah, but there's like no shape either. So it's more, if this was to be different than bikini, it's got to go to look like Victoria's Secret. It's got to be chicks that are hot as fuck. Like hot as fuck, and that look like they are toned. No muscle, no shape, no booty, no, like, you know what I mean? Like that's the only way it can go, that it can be different. Otherwise, it's going to send bikini too much, but then that's into wellness anyway. So it's like, fuck.
Well, that's the problem. Like, you know, that's the thing with these things. Is there enough difference between the categories is the question.
To me, it looked like, to me, that fit model division looks like an ICN show.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like the girls of the ICN show. Obviously, there's a couple of exceptions there too. However, that's where you go. That's where you go to have a go, to see if you like it, and then if you like it, then okay, it's time to get more serious and go do the IFBB. You know, and I get the whole. It's good. It's like the entry level, yeah, good, but fuck me, like I like to watch other sports, but I'm not going to go to a competition where there's a potential 5 to 6, 7 new pros being presented an award in that show or that season to just have a go. It kind of, I think it takes away a little bit. Look, and that's my opinion. I might be wrong. I haven't thought about it that too much up until now anyway. When they went on, I went and cleaned the hallways.
Man, look, it's
okay. I'll give you an example. Okay, Verity was in better shape than them, and she doesn't go to the gym.
I think that's the criticism that I had early in the piece, right? Because bikini came out. Remember, bikini came out, and we didn't even understand what it was, and it was like it came out in the NABBA show, actually. I think it was the Southern Hemispheres, and it was, oh man, it would have been maybe 04. And a quite well-known cosmetic surgeon on the Gold Coast basically sponsored this category, and so let's do a bikini category. So then next thing you know, you had two height classes, and there was like, there was like 45, 50 competitors, not in each class, but over the two classes. And we just didn't understand what we were looking at. We're kind of like, well, because before that, there was nothing, but there was just figure physique in women. So they were training to progress, whereas they had this category that basically these girls, some of them looked like they just walked up from the beach and were winning shows. So I think that's the criticism I had in the early piece with when we were involved with the old IFBB in regards to bikini, because they kept a tight rein on it. Do you remember? As soon as the bikini girl started to look a little bit muscular, no, that's just too much. You need to do figure. And I'm just like, well, the difference between someone walking up off the beach and winning a show and these girls is, you could genetically fluke it and do that. And I always felt that there needed to be enough of a gap that a person just couldn't roll out of bed and look good enough to win a show, right? Which is what is the case now with bikini. Credit where it's due, because no one can just roll out of bed and look like these girls, right? That's the truth. But I'm always very cautious about these categories where people can just look like that naturally without doing anything. And and I think the other thing we mentioned the other week, there was if you can, and I know these categories are new, so this comment isn't going to be too valid, but on some of these categories where it requires less muscle and less condition and all that sort of thing, you've got people that can do one season and become a pro, or 2 seasons become a pro, whereas if you're doing classic or open bodybuilding, there's no way a person can train for 1 year and be a pro. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of differing factors here, man, in play. So anyhow,
that's it.
It's like anything. Rest assured, what will happen is that if they don't keep a grip on it, right, criteria wise, then that fitness model category will become bikini. Bikini will move into wellness. Wellness will become unattainable, and figure will just be out on its own because the wellness is different.
Look, to be fair, wellness is kind of unattainable now.
Mate, okay, so this is my point with it. Like, I love the category, period. I really do. I think it's an amazing category because it does allow for the female to exhibit the natural female form, curves and the shape, right? But if you look at the pictures of what wellness was when they first brought the category out, it was basically just bikini with a heavy bottom end. And then somehow over the course of 5 years, it got to a point where the legs were that big on the bottom end, they were bigger than bodybuilders, and it was like, people call it natural progression. It is. But at the same time, you got to be wary. It's like when you draw boundary lines in relationships. You know what I mean? The boundary line is there. If you don't pull up someone on a boundary line, then the boundary line becomes a new boundary line a little bit further away. And that's what happens with these categories, because men's physique, board short category. Do you remember? I'm going to call him out because he's a good bloke. Remember Johnny Akari? Remember back in the day that I used to coach? A Kiwi boy? Had one of the prettiest physiques you'd ever seen, right? He was about 80 kilos on stage, right? He did that one show we were preparing for, looked amazing. Should have won the show by absolute weeks. He should have won the show. But they gave him second because he was too big at 80 kilos, right? 80 kilos, too big. And now these board short guys are 100 kilos. It's like, it's weird how the line just keeps getting pushed, So anyhow,
100 kilos minimum. Some of these motherfuckers are huge.
They're massive, man. So
look, I don't know. Look, to me, I don't want to talk bad, so I don't want to say that.
Well, we're not talking bad. It's they're just observations. There's no criticism involved here.
Look, a lot of the wellness girls should, like, if they dieted a little bit more, they would be bikini girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, look, this season they did not reward condition. They, like, across the majority categories, really. But they have years like this, so it's, I guess they can just judge what is presented.
Well, that's the other side of it too, Jimmy, isn't it? It's like, if you've got one person in the lineup that is way too hard, for example, and they're not really 100% the criteria, but then you've got another couple of people that are just not really up to standard, then the person that's not really in the criteria but is superior to the others will win. And it kind of gives a false idea to people that, condition is what's required instead of listening and going, listen. Because I think as far as wellness goes, I think wellness this year has been judged more so on that level of less condition in relation, and that's not a criticism. I like this. Okay, they're still super conditioned. Don't be wrong, but it seemed to be judged more in line with the way it was overseas, like that sort of fuller look, not as not as super lean as what they had maybe been in the past.
You know why? I'll tell you why. Because if they get super lean, they can't. They just don't look wellness. Because
there's definitely a balancing act, man, between the level of leanness and the level of fullness in that category to attain that look.
One, look, very few of them, and I've played very few because some do, have the amount of muscle required in the lower body. Number two, not answering that. Number two,
to the police.
No, it's some private number. Got cramp in my hand. I don't know if it was carpal tunnel from the growth or cramp in the clamp. Anyway, two, none of them train hard enough to acquire that level of muscle in the lower body. And three, genetics is a big thing in this category, man. And I don't see many South American Australians walk around, or Brazilian Australians that do the show. It's okay. How many years has wellness been around now?
I'm guessing probably 6 or 7 years, probably maybe more now.
Yeah. So look, now at least we should start to see a few diamonds in the rough come through. And like this is like these critiques that I'm saying now, they're not the ones like they're not the top ones at nationals I'm talking about, or the ones that are placing first, second, third in the shows.
Yeah,
this is just like the depth is just not there for those reasons.
Well, but that's what happened with Classic. In the beginning, remember there wasn't the depth. And every man and his dog that just basically could make weight for the height thought he was Classic bodybuilder. I mean,
that's that down.
Well, do you remember? I know, but do you remember 2018, right? When I did that show and you said, I was in Thailand and you said, don't do the show. You haven't even trained. I'm just like, yeah, I have. And, and then, I remember in that final week, I actually got to what the cutoff weight would be for my height in the middle of that week. And then everyone's going, you should do Classic. And I'm just like, what the fuck is classic about me? There is nothing classic about me, right? Could you imagine cocking my hips to one side and pointing my toes and doing that? I've done stand and deliver my whole life, right? Like, why all of a sudden, because I'm going to make weight, all of a sudden I'm classic? And that's the thing, is that as the depth grows in these categories, it starts to become more and more obvious. The depth's getting bigger in wellness because the Adelaide show was strong. And then obviously Jackie was good as well in Sydney, and the depth's getting more and more. There's no doubt it's going to get harder. I just be nice if they preserve the category within the parameters though, and don't let it get too far out of hand. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no. Look, to be fair, it'd be fucking hard to get out of hand. It'd be like. If they stick to the criteria, it's very simple. It'll be very easily kept because the lower body has to be significantly developed. If you just stick to they've got to be in shape, and the lower body has to be significantly more developed in proportion to the upper body. It's pretty easy to fucking criteria, yeah.
Yeah, you think so?
You would think so.
So
even with classic, okay,
yeah,
if you're straight up and down, like you shouldn't be able to place classic.
right.
You shouldn't be able to. So classic is like the shape category.
Mm.
You know what I mean? If you've got gyno in classic, you shouldn't be out of place. I don't know. Anyway, well, that's fucking.
So what about the show anyway in general? Like what obviously I wasn't there. So what highlights, standouts?
I was impressed with Mike Dawn coming back big. Like a few of these guys, and we spoke about this with you in your weight cut last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to progress when you're right on the cusp of a weight class.
Yeah.
Because if you try to push and get bigger, you're going to fall in the low to the low mids of the next weight class in the next year. And it might take you 2 to 3 years to develop into a top draw in that next weight class up. So it's a hard pill to swallow for some guys who are placing top 3 and under 80, under 90, whatever, and then trying to put on weight, but then they're coming into 4 weeks out and they're like, fuck, I'm only 93 kilo. I'm going back down to under 90.
Well, that's the answer, isn't it?
No, well, unless you've got to let some weight. And I think it depends on how old you are or what your goal is, whatever, right? But if you want to progress in terms of size, you've got to let the weight, the muscle stick. New muscle's going to go on. The new muscle's coming off first. The harder you push, right? So what Mike did, I don't know if he's done it on purpose, but it's certainly what he looked like. I'm going to see him tomorrow, so you won't see this before I see him tomorrow. So, you can't get upset. He wasn't as hard as he usually is, but I think he knows that.
Yeah.
In his defense, he was 7 kilos heavier than last time he was on stage. So,
right.
the look was different. He was just a different look. Like usually, he's a lot. We think of Mike Dawn straight up and down from the front with big delts, big arms, but like legs are straight up and down, crack the side chest. And I'd never ever paid attention to his back. Right, his back double bicep shot is wild now. Wild, and he's got a quad sweep.
Yeah,
you can see where the new muscle's gone. Right. I think it's just got to ferment and just get he let it sit this year. He told me he weighed in at 99.5. He was 97.5 the morning of. So, like, if he doesn't push it for nationals and just gets through nationals, next time he competes, he'll be a genuine shot for the pro card.
Okay, so I mean, I've seen Dawnie obviously, and I know Dawnie as well. I've seen him compete numerous times, and he's competed the same days that we've competed back in the day when he was like doing juniors and stuff as well. But like, and as I said, I didn't see him, so I'm only just talking out loud here. So it's not advice or anything. But Dawnie has that type of physique, man. That if he was 97 kilos and he came in at 95 and he was sharp, he would look as big at that as what he did the other way, right?
Yes and no. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this was a full-blown look from the front. Like,
right.
Where I was saying he used to be straight up and down, he's not no more, Chris. So his shoulders have gotten wider too. So he's a blown-out version of Mike Dawn. The condition was not there that Mike Dawn's known for, but the significant difference in proportions and size is there. Like, he looked fucking big.
Okay. Oh, well. Well, I wish I had seen it.
And to be fair, Mike Dawn not in condition, still more conditioned than 80% of the competitors in the show.
I mean, that's the point of being renowned for conditioning is that point, even when you're
not to Mike right now, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like quad sweep, shoulder width, and back thickness, absolutely wild. If he can get that size to as hard as he used to be when he was like 87, like. And that's just going to take more time, but it was a good look. It was a good look it's a good look incoming because you can see where it's going in the future, and you know where it's been in the past. That look itself was a bit like, oh, he's fucking big, and let's leave it at that. But his back was fucking big and hard, and everything was hard. Like not Mike Dawn hard, but everyone was hard compared to everyone else. But it just the hardness was underwhelming, but it didn't matter because of the size that he displayed. It was well bigger than you ever like any of us have ever seen before on him. You can tell he's pushed hard this off season.
So and he won. So I'm assuming he did heavyweights, right? And did you say he was 97, 99 or 97 or something? So he did heavies.
Under 102, whatever the fuck that is.
Oh yeah, they've done that extra kilo, 2 kilos thing now.
Yeah.
And the super heavyweight won the overall.
Yes. Yeah. That guy looked good. Like that guy, like it's size wise, wasn't like overwhelming. Like who did we have last year? Like was it Matt King who won last year? Like just big and round, yeah. Like this guy I would have no problem compete classic. Like he was had crazy lines, streamlined. Hit his shots, looked big. In his shots, not in his shots, just looked aesthetic. Like I saw him the morning of, and like his abs are tight as like, and from the front was really tight, looked really good. Just I wouldn't call him like you can't not call him big. He's a fucking super heavyweight, but I think he competed at like 104 or 105.
Jerome Simpson.
That's the one.
Right. Sorry, I had to and that's we actually Stan mentioned him last week when he spoke, so I just felt bad that we're just calling him that fella. So give a name to the bloke. Well done, Jerome.
Yeah, and like in the overall, it wasn't close because condition wise, whereas Mike Dawn pushed bigger guys in the overall in condition in previous years, this year he won condition wise. Like he won purely with condition, and he has a big frame, man. He's a tall motherfucker.
Right.
You know, so plus his kid yelled at him while he was on stage, and he gave the kid a wave and stuff. So, like, you had to give him the win regardless.
on compassionate grounds, right?
100%. It was one of the cutest things you've ever heard. The kid yelling out, "Daddy, Daddy," and he stops during mid-routine, gives it a wave. Kind of made me go, I was thinking, I can do another show if Apollo wanted to do a show. Go straight home and just put in 3 grams.
Do you miss it? Seriously?
No, look, I miss everything except for being on stage. So, like I hated getting, as soon as we started the tanning process, I was just off it. I was off it. I was fucking, the carb load made me hungry. I always wanted to eat too much. Fucking, yeah, I just didn't, and I'm not good at I'm not that good. I'm not good at posing. I don't really like to be on stage. But I like I like getting into that shape and the manipulation and the post. I like the post show shoots. But just being on stage, it was part of the course really, and that's the main reason why I didn't do it no more, because I just didn't enjoy being on stage. But look, to be fair, if my stomach wasn't the way it was or is, right. And I'm not a fucking moron, and I understand that is the focal point of every single pose we do, except for the back shots, right? Yeah. I would do it in a heartbeat. Because I'm looking at, and I walk away from all the shows lately like this, and I'm like, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but if we look at just pure weight, like I'm 130 right now, not even trying, and not fat at all. So I'm like, if I just need to put the foot down for 4 months, but it's pointless with my stomach because I just become a meme.
It's interesting you bring that up about the tanning. Like it's good up until the tanning, and then that photo popped up this week. The one I put up the other day, me and you tanning each other. That was 14, wasn't it?
Yeah, 14. That was back
14.
the days where you go and spray in a spray booth.
What's that?
That was back before that was back before the spray booths and that you go and pay.
Yeah, man, you sit there and fucking stand in your either in your undies or a fucking sock, and then just roller each other with a roller. Remember?
Yeah, but those tans look so much better than they do now.
Mm-hmm. Well, because if you took your time and you put that base coat on, got it nice and dark, and that you had that really nice top coat, and you could just it looked good, But yeah, man, I understand, Like yeah, I miss it all. Like literally, I've had this conversation with a heap of people. Like,
Yeah.
I miss the whole process.
Like, look, I do. I don't like posing. I don't like the tanning part, blah blah blah. But like, I do miss the whole like.
Mm.
I don't really miss the day because the day is long as fuck. But I miss snippets that you need to go through all that shit to get to. And like, I even miss being in that sort of condition or that sort of shape. And I'm like, fuck, I haven't done it for that long. I wonder what I look like in that shape with all this added training behind me. Because I didn't stop training when I stopped competing.
Well, we could do that anyway if you want to.
No, but I can't because you know why?
Why?
With the fear of going on stage fat, I'm going to have a pizza.
Yeah, no. I'm not talking about getting on stage. I'm talking about we go through the whole process and get in that shape.
Yeah.
I'll be thinking about it.
Mm.
It should take me about 6 weeks. That's a...
I do actually. You know what? What date is it today? It is
the 16th, Wednesday the 16th.
Wednesday the 16th.
Yeah.
Of April, May.
Yeah.
June, July. When's your birthday?
November.
All right, so mine's first. July, August, September. 20 weeks. Don't need 20 weeks.
If that's 20 weeks, I'll start in 8.
No, okay. So when's winter finish? June, July, August, September. All right, 1st of September.
Is first of spring is October, isn't it?
No,
right?
1st of September.
September, isn't it? Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
We can do a 12-week diet. I don't fucking really want to diet through winter though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm just backload the shit out of it.
That's why my birthday was always good because it was like you were lean in summer.
Yeah. You use spring to get lean for summer.
Yeah. And getting up in the morning and doing morning walks or whatever was just more comfortable rather than getting up in wintertime and it's like fucking dark at 7 a.m. in the morning and it's freezing.
No, but we are due to go to the Olympia. We've been saying it for years for all of us to go together.
True.
We could do that.
We could. It's been long enough. I think I'll be right now.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine. We're both probably fine.
Yeah.
Verity can't go. She's there. That's not a bad idea. We could do that. We could plan that. Get in shape for the Olympia. I kind of want to start dieting earlier, but
what's the Olympia? When is it now? Is it October?
It's around that September, October.
Yeah, I was gonna say late September maybe.
We can go to the Olympia for my birthday.
Could do. Vegas for your birthday.
I did my 30th there.
I don't have regrets. I've only got one minor regret though. Right. And that was that Worlds that I didn't do in 14 that we were gonna work our way back through South America and Mexico on our way back.
Wouldn't have come back, but we would have made a good effort. Into that. That would have been disastrous. That would have been a different trajectory of our lives. You know what I mean? Like we'll be going this way, and then that happened, and we go that way.
Brazil's hard to get to, man. Have you tried to do flights to Brazil and see what it takes? Fucking, you're in transit for like fucking a day and a half, man. It's ridiculous.
That's fucking ages.
Yeah.
We'll have a think about this. I do want to diet a little bit.
I've been thinking about it a lot lately, actually. I don't know why. Like, just thinking about getting really in shape. So,
you know what you should do?
What's up?
Because your knee's a problem.
Yeah.
Why don't you do board shorts?
Well,
big now.
Well, like, I could do Masters board shorts.
Yeah. Could you imagine that? Fuck, that'd be funny. Just jacked Greek fuck. in board in blue and white board shorts.
All right, that's okay. If it ever happens, it's got to be blue and white board shorts.
Look, if you wanted to get on stage and do something,
yeah,
only because your knee's fucking finished.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I care about the stage anymore. I just want to get in shape. I want a reason to, like, So anyway,
we need a reason. All right, think of a reason.
We'll think of a reason. That's the thing. Yeah.
What So, what are you doing for Easter?
I've got nothing planned yet, man. I got a friend coming around going to help me do a couple of things, and then I think my brother's coming around at some point. Apart from that, man, I'm just gonna, I've got heaps of work to do. Like this week, I've got to go to the Gold Coast tomorrow and work with Leggy. So the short week has been shortened by an extra day. So it's like me condensing a week into 3 days. So it's just struggle street. So I'm working late tonight. I've got to work all evening pretty much. And then tomorrow is dedicated to that project. And then Friday will be just tidying up loose ends that I just didn't get done.
Yep.
And then training, because I won't train tomorrow. Won't train today. And then after that, Saturday, Sunday, Monday will just be chilling around the house, doing house stuff pretty much. I got no real plans, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to the zoo on Saturday.
Yeah.
We're going to the zoo on Saturday. That'll be fun.
Mm.
Pretty much anything we do now is kind of fun. It is fun with the kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you're doing it for the first time and his reactions are pretty funny.
Yeah. What is there a zoo near you at your place, or
there's a couple. I don't know which one we're going to. It's like there's either the Greater Western Sydney one,
right?
Not Greater, just Western Sydney one, which is like out near Blacktown that way,
right?
Or Taronga Zoo, obviously. I've got a sneaky feeling that we're going to Taronga Zoo,
right? I've been to that one. I don't remember why or when, but I have.
Yeah, you probably see the animals.
Yeah. Do you remember the tigers in Thailand?
Yep. Anything that took more Valiums was fucking.
Dude, I never forget. Me and McKinnon was sitting there, and Mick Galley was just in the cage with them, right?
Yeah.
And the Thai guys just had like this palm branch with leaves, and that's what they're just like shushing him with. And we're just looking at it going, I don't think that palm branch is going to stop them, right? And then me and McKinnon look down and it says, do not hop in the cage with the tigers. And then we look at each other and go, but Mick's in the cage. There's a video of it somewhere. Yeah.
We did that too.
Yeah.
What else we doing? That's it. I'm not working Saturday and Sunday. That's the first Saturday I haven't worked for a very long time, so I'm going to enjoy it. Enjoy it, I think.
Yes.
All right. Well, next I think next week we'll finish off one of the unshown episodes.
Yeah.
And then
so we'll get the young bloke back on. We'll finish that one. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yep. And then I think.
Yep.
And I've got an idea for another one, but I'll talk to you about that later.
All right.
Oh, my man.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Good seeing you, and I'll see you later.
Okay. See you guys.
This has been This is Fitness. With over 60 combined years in the fitness world, Jimmy and Chris have walked the walk and are here to share what really works. Their passion is to explore new trends, dispel myths, and call out the stupidity within the industry. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find Chris on social media at Chris Thomas Alpha Ethos and his website at alpha-ethos.com. Find Jimmy on social media at jimmysadak.designercoaching and his website at www.jimmysadak.com. See you next time on This is Fitness.